Hi everyone, welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie and we are on day 47 today. We're going to be reading out of Genesis 47, Job chapter 20, Luke chapter 22, but only verses 1 through 13, and then we'll close out the day with Psalm 35, verses 1 through 18. I am so glad you're here today and I hope it's a fantastic day for you. It is a little bit of a party in this house today, and I'm ready to get started with it. But first, we're going to see what the Lord has to say. First, we're going to tether our hearts to the Lord. We're going to tether our hearts to Him, knowing that He is in control. He is in control of this day, and whatever goodness and whatever challenges come our way, He knows all about it. And He's going to help us get us through. But we have to be tethered to Him. So let's start with Genesis chapter 47. Here we go. Then Joseph went in and told Pharaoh and said, "My father and my brothers with their flocks, their herds, and all that they own have come out of the land of Canaan, and behold, they are in the land of Goshen." From among his brothers he took 5 men and presented them to Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to his brothers, "What is your occupation?" They said to Pharaoh, "Your servants are shepherds, both we and our fathers." They also said to Pharaoh, "We have come to live as foreigners in the land, for there is no pasture for your servants' flocks, for the famine is severe in the land of Canaan. Now therefore, please let your servants dwell in the land of Goshen." Pharaoh spoke to Joseph, saying, "Your father and your brothers have come to you. The land of Egypt is before you. Make your father and your brothers dwell in the best of the land. Let them dwell in the land of Goshen. If you know any able men among them, then put them in charge of my livestock." Joseph brought in Jacob his father and set him before Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Jacob, "How old are you?" Jacob said to Pharaoh, "The years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. The days of the years of my life have been few and evil. They have not attained to the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage." Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from the presence of Pharaoh. Joseph placed his father and his brothers and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramses, as Pharaoh had commanded. Joseph provided his father, his brothers, and all of his father's households with bread according to the sizes of their families. There was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very severe, so that the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the grain which they bought, and Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. When the money was all spent in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, "Give us bread, for why should we die in your presence? For our money fails." Joseph said, "Give me your livestock, and I will give you food for your livestock, if your money is gone." They brought their livestock to Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for the horses and for the flocks and for the herds and for the donkeys, and he fed them with bread in exchange for all their livestock for that year. When that year was ended, they came to him the second year and said to him, We will not hide from my lord how our money is spent, and the herds of livestock are my lord's. There is nothing left in the sight of my Lord but our bodies and our lands. Why should we die before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants to Pharaoh. Give us seed that we may live and not die, and that the land won't be desolate. So Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for every man of the Egyptians sold his field, because the famine was severe on them, and the land became Pharaoh's. As for the people, he moved them to the cities from one end of the border of Egypt, even to the other end of it. Only he didn't buy the land of the priests, for the priests had a portion from Pharaoh, and ate their portion which Pharaoh gave them. That is why they didn't sell their land. Then Joseph said to the people, Behold, I have bought you and your land today for Pharaoh. Behold, here is seed for you, and you shall sow the land. It will happen at the harvest that you shall give a fifth to Pharaoh, and 4 parts will be your own, for seed of the field, for your food, for them of your households, and for food for your little ones. They said, You have saved our lives. Let us find favor in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants. Joseph made it a statute concerning the land of Egypt to this day that Pharaoh should have the fifth. Only the land of the priests alone didn't become Pharaoh's. Israel lived in the land of Egypt, in the land of Goshen, and they got themselves possessions therein, and were fruitful, and multiplied exceedingly. Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So the days of Jacob, the years of his life, were 147 years. The time came near that Israel must die, and he called his son Joseph and said to him, If now I have found favor in your sight, please put your hand under my thigh and deal kindly and truly with me. Please don't bury me in Egypt, but when I sleep with my fathers, you shall carry me out of Egypt and bury me in their burying place. Joseph said, I will do as you have said. Israel said, Swear to me. And he swore to him. Then Israel bowed himself on the bed's head. All right, moving on to Job chapter 20. Just the whole idea that God is in control. Excuse me. The whole idea that God is in control. God told Jacob all of this. And through famine, and he thought he lost his son Joseph, through the incredible hardship, it all comes full circle and shows that God is in control. He says something, and it will be done. Will it be done in our lifetime? Who knows? Will it be done? Will it be done for our eyes to, see what happens and rejoice and, phew, we got out of that one? Who knows? It's all God's timing. But it will be taken care of. So Job chapter 20. I am finding it so hard to read Job and when his friends speak. But here we go. Then Zophar, the Naamathite, answered, Therefore my thoughts answer me, even by reason of my haste that is in me. I have heard the reproof which puts me to shame. The spirit of my understanding answers me. Don't you know this from old time, since man was placed on earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, the joy of godless but for a moment? Though his height mount up to the heavens, and his head reach to the clouds, yet he will perish forever, like his own dung. Those who have seen him will say, "Where is he?" He will fly away as a dream and will not be found. Yes, he will be chased away like the vision of the night. The eye which saw him will see him no more, neither will his place see him any more. His children will seek the favor of the poor. His hands will give back his wealth. His bones are full of his youth, but youth will lie down with him in the dust. Though wickedness is sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and will not let it go, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his food in his bowels is turned. It is cobra venom within him. He has swallowed down riches, and he will vomit them up again. God will cast them out of his belly. He will suck cobra venom. The viper's tongue will kill him. He will not look at the rivers, the flowing streams of honey and butter. He will restore that for which he labored, and will not swallow it down. He will not rejoice according to the substance that he has gotten, for he has oppressed and forsaken the poor. He has violently taken away a house, and he will not build it up. Because he knew no quietness within him, he will not save anything of that in which he delights. There is nothing left that he didn't devour, therefore his prosperity will not endure. In his fullness of his sufficiency, distress will overtake him. The hand of everyone who is in misery will come on him. When he is about to fill his belly, God will cast the fierceness of his wrath on him. It will rain on him while he is eating. He will flee from the iron weapon. The bronze arrow will strike him through. He draws it out, and it comes out of his body. Yes, the glittering point comes out of his liver. Terrors are on him. All darkness is laid up for his treasures. An unfanned fire will devour him. It will consume that which is left in his tent. The heavens will reveal his iniquity. The earth will rise up against him. The increase of his house will depart. They will rush away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of the wicked man from God, the heritage appointed to him by God. Thank you, Zophar. All right, Luke 22, 1 through 13. Now, the feast of the unleavened bread, which is called the Passover, was approaching. The chief priests and the scribes sought how they might put him to death, for they feared the people. Satan entered into Judas, who was also called Iscariot, who was counted with the 12. He went away and talked with the chief priests, the captains, about how he might deliver him to them. They were glad and agreed to give him money. He consented and sought an opportunity to deliver him to them in the absence of the multitude. The day of unleavened bread came, on which the Passover must be sacrificed. Jesus sent Peter and John, saying, "Go and prepare the Passover for us, that we may eat." They said to him, "Where do you want us to prepare?" He said to them, "Behold, when you have entered into the city, a man carrying a pitcher of water will meet you. Follow him into the house which he enters. Tell the master of the house, the teacher says to you, where is the guest room that I may eat the Passover with my disciples? He will show you a large furnished upper room. Make preparations there. They went, found things as Jesus had told them, and they prepared the Passover. Yeah, we're going to be entering into some pretty rough history. Jesus knows what's happening. Judas doesn't. Is it possible because his heart was not tethered? Is it possible? Can Satan come and untether somebody's heart to God? I don't have the answer for that. I just know that Judas loved Jesus. He followed Jesus. He believed in Jesus' words. And then here we have it. Satan entered him. I don't have an answer, folks. I just know it's rough reading. So moving into Psalm 33, 1 through 18, where I am hopeful we can close the day in something joyous. Please. Here we go. Rejoice in Yahweh, you righteous. Praise is fitting for the upright. Give thanks to Yahweh with the lyre. Sing praises to him with the harp of 10 strings. Sing to him a new song. No. I mean, yes, let's do it. But I think we did that a couple days ago. We're actually going to be reading Psalm 35, 1 through 18. I am so sorry. I've told you once before. What goes on in my head when it says Psalm 35, 1 through 18, what goes on in my head, and then my brain is picking up the visual field of the numbers, it gets stuck into what I refer to as a cobweb. It's like a sticky web where numbers are getting stuck. So I am doing the best I can, but I see here, this is what I see, for all those who are curious, Psalm chapter 35. But then I have to find 1 through 18. And these little blue verse markers, my vision actually does not see. It is not processing in my brain. And so I pre-mark what I'm doing. You can see like the little X's here in the previous times to try and help me out. But if we're going to be doing this for 365 days, there are going to be days where I am like, oh, really confused. So with that, let's read Psalm 35, 1 through 18. I'm just going to double check, and I did mark it. Here we go. And this is by David. Contend, Yahweh, with those who contend with me. Fight against those who fight against me. Take hold of shield and buckler, and stand up for my help. Brandish the spear, and block those who pursue me. Tell my soul, I am your salvation. Let those who seek after my soul be disappointed and brought to dishonor. Let those who plot my ruin be turned back and confounded. Let them be as chaff before the wind, Yahweh's angel driving them on. Let their way be dark and slippery, Yahweh's angel pursuing them. For without cause they have hidden their net in a pit for me. Without cause they have dug a pit for my soul. Let destruction come on him unawares. Let his net that he has hidden catch himself. Let him fall into that destruction. My soul shall be joyful in Yahweh. It shall rejoice in his salvation. All my bones shall say, Yahweh, who is like you? Who delivers the poor from him who is too strong for him? Yes, the poor and the needy from him who robs him. Unrighteous witnesses rise up. They ask me about things that I don't know about. They reward me evil for good, to the bereaving of my soul. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I afflicted my soul with fasting. My prayer returned into my own bosom. I behaved myself as though it had been my friend or my brother. I bowed down mourning as one who mourns his mother. But in my adversity, they rejoiced and gathered themselves together. The attackers gathered themselves together against me, and I didn't know it. They tore at me and didn't cease. Like the profane mockers in feast, they gnashed their teeth at me. Lord, how long will you look on? Rescue my soul from their destruction, my precious life from the lions. I will give you thanks in the great assembly. I will praise you among many people. Lord, how long will you look on? Oh, well, I am ready to party. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day today. Please come back tomorrow for day 48 and think about the words that we have read today. They're not just back, way back in a Bible where stories are read over and over and over again in history. They are living, and they can be applied to today, to this year. Think about those words. Tether your heart to Jesus. Have that relationship with him. Talk with him, even if what you're saying doesn't feel like it makes any sense at all. Your heart is open, and he'll see your heart. He'll hear your heart. And that is the first step in your relationship with the Lord. So, have a wonderful day, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.